If you're a lineman in charge of keeping the lights on, Grainger understands that you go to great lengths and sometimes heights to ensure the power is always flowing, which is why you can count on Grainger for professional-grade products and next-day delivery, so you have everything you need to get the job done. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is for everybody writing down my name. Y'all are pissing me off. I don't want to share food with you because you're writing down my name. Y'all are talking about me.
This is Making the Merge.
We can very well win this thing.
I'm a dog person now.
Line them up, let's knock them down.
If you told me your dog was sick, I'd say, I'm coming over.
I crack open a coconut and they didn't cheer for me.
You're either in Survivor or you're not.
It's not about the $1 million. All I want to do is win 1 million hearts.
Hearts. Same, Banu. Same.
Welcome to Making the Merge. My name is P.D. Bachman.
My name is Chase Bridges.
My name's Brandon Gray.
And we did this differently this week because everybody kept getting confused on whose voice was whose.
Oh, yeah.
And Jonathan's not here this week, but he sounds the obnoxious one you hear every week. That's him.
I don't think anybody's confused about who Jonathan is. Right?
Yeah, the guy who said Cedric. Only one person said Cedric.
Oh,
that's
man.
Jonathan.
Yeah, well, speaking of Jonathan, I think the only good thing that happened this week was Jonathan getting on Rob Has a Podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did. That's right. And that's why we get to play this whenever we want to.
The Making the Merge podcast.
That's is that Rob doing Casey Kasem talking about Rob Has a Podcast?
Maybe.
I'm Casey Kasem.
Yeah.
So Jonathan, he came in second on the Wand-Off. Shout out to Jonathan. He didn't win, but it's okay.
I don't want to beef with Rob Has a Podcast, but Jonathan's song should have been number one. I think the only reason they're number one is because it was about their show.
Yeah, probably, but the competition was hosted on their show.
Yeah.
So that's
There's nothing we
right.
can do about
Their
it.
prerogative. If we did the wand off, Jonathan would have won for sure because it was our show.
Yeah. So Jonathan, number one in our hearts, number two on Rob Has a Podcast.
Who's number one? Who won that?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I didn't know if it was.
Look, Chase, shut up. It's an honor to be on Rob Has a Podcast.
I'm not.
What did I do?
I'm not
You're like,
trying to-
whatever. Rob sucks.
Yeah.
That's what
I didn't say that. I said who won.
It's in the undertone.
energy.
Yeah,
It was the energy.
I'm
you were
just
giving.
down because of the episode of Survivor from last night.
Well, while we're trying not to beef with Rob Has a Podcast, I do have a review from Damien that says, I wish I found this podcast earlier. It's such a contrast to On Fire and
Rob Has a
another
Podcast.
show. In all the best ways. It feels like you're sitting on the couch with a bunch of good friends riffing about the show you love. I'm subscribing on all the platforms, and I got to be honest, I don't know how you would do that, but I appreciate it. I think you listen to it one place, but again, do whatever you want to do.
You know what that tells me? It's that they think that the On Fire podcast is like being on the couch with bad friends.
Uh-huh.
Ooh,
Yep.
yeah. Your bad friends, Jeff Probst
And Rachel.
and Rachel, the worst friends we have.
I would actually love to hang out with them.
I would too. Specifically, Oceanly, Rachel.
Yeah.
Rachel's awesome.
Yeah, she's great.
You know what's not great?
Yeah. I'm not going to speak for Bran, but I know for a fact me and Chase do not want to recap this episode.
I've given this a lot of thought about how I feel because I think everybody's pretty sad today, and we'll get to why. This is I think we're sad because we know how this is going to go, right?
And now we have to play out the whole thing,
right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if we looked back at when the season started, and we see who the people are, and we see the makeup of the tribes and stuff. I don't know if there was necessarily any way the producing team over there could have even predicted it would go like it. Just it's them to break sometimes.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the thing about a social experiment.
Yeah.
You can't control it. But we're the positive podcast. We're not supposed to speak negatively about the show.
Is that true?
Spoiler alert, we're going to talk real negative about this episode.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right,
Rip it off like a
let's
Band-Aid.
get into it. So we get this episode started with Mary. She's pitching to Camilla and Mitch. Mary's pitch is, hey, maybe vote Joe out, and then you guys can just vote me out later. And then Mitch says, at this point in the game, We all see the writing on the wall. Joe's been running this game, and we got to do something. Now, Mitch, now we got to do something. I'm sorry to start this with a crash out, but
Please do. Crash out.
I got it out. I'm going to try to be calm for the rest of this episode.
It only gets worse for me from here. But I will say it was extremely frustrating that Mitch was like, "Hey, we got to do something." Last week you should have done something.
Yeah, last week was the chance.
The good news is one of them's definitely gonna go for it.
Somebody,
Right?
yeah. So Mary then goes and makes this pitch to Kyle, where she's like, "Hey, if you want to make a move, use me." Kyle says it's very tempting, and this is the last chance that he has a clean shot at Joe. And then Kyle says he's in a tough spot, though, because he's so emotionally connected to Joe and Eva that it seems obvious Joe's going to win the game. But Mary, I love Joe so much. And then Kyle says in a confessional that he's really thinking about voting Joe. So there's that.
No, he's not. No, he's not. I don't believe he ever for a second considered it.
No, he's tricked himself.
Yes.
He came up with this big plan about infiltrating Joe and Eva, and now he's just fallen for his own plan.
Yeah, that's the thing. Can you imagine you send a spy into the opposing camp, and they're like, "I couldn't do it. I couldn't pull the trigger." Turns out they're nice people.
Yeah.
You send James Bond into Soviet Russia, and now next time you see him, he's like, he's a nice guy.
Turns out it's more complicated than I thought.
Well, this leads Mary to angrily chop a coconut. And then she says, "This is for everybody writing my name down.
Yeah.
Y'all are pissing me off. I don't want to fucking share food with y'all." And I caught that when I was listening back. There was a censor.
An explicit.
Yeah, they did. They tried to remove it, but I heard it. And because y'all are writing down my name, you're talking about me, pissing me off.
Yeah.
Very adorable the way that she was doing it, because she wasn't even like yelling angrily. She was just kind of talking to herself like, "Piss it."
Yeah.
Didn't even look like she was chopping the coconut that hard.
The thing I don't like, I'm not confident in is if the reaction shots that they were showing of the other people like Camilla and Kyle and Mitch that were around at the time, where they're all like, what's going on there? What's going on with her? I don't know if those were the shots that were happening at the same time as when that was happening, but they worked for me. They were like, I liked it. I liked them cutting to them and just being like, "Whoa."
It was very funny.
Yeah.
But something important to note about the coconut, it's the last coconut.
The last coconut on the entire island.
Yeah.
This infuriated
But
me.
Chase, how did Eva take that?
This infuriated me, dude. Eva is like, "Mary, that's like the last coconut." And Mary's like, "Well, I've got to eat something because I'm not going to get to go to reward later. You will."
I can almost guarantee it.
and she's like, "So I'm going to eat something." And so she does. Everyone's upset. Even Camilla is like,
Camilla, that goes against coconut
etiquette.
Yeah. I've got the full quote. She knows she's on the bottom, and she wants to flip it around on Joe and Eva, but no one is going to want to keep around the person who's eating all of their food. It's 100% hurting her game. People aren't going to want to keep around someone who doesn't have proper coconut etiquette.
dude.
Let me ask y'all this. Let me ask y'all this. I obviously very annoyed at Eva during this moment.
Yes.
Camilla, take a step back. Pick which side you're on, okay? But do you think that there was anything to this? Like if Mary didn't do this thing with the coconut, is there a chance?
No.
Is there a chance?
You're telling me they're like, "All right, Mary is our only chance to get out Joe or Eva before we lose the numbers." But she keeps opening coconuts.
Well, here's the thing. Not everybody, but multiple people have talked about how they don't trust Mary, right?
Right.
But Mary comes to them with this plan.
Yes.
And if you're considering going along with someone's plan that you don't trust, and you're just like, "I just need you to show me something that will make me trust you," and then you go and you do the last coconuts. I can kind of see how it could rub you the wrong way and be like, "I can't." But at the end of the day, you have to be able to look at the numbers and know that we have to make a move this week. We have to go with Mary, or else we don't have a chance to win this game. You're on an island. Go out and get coconuts.
Climb a tree.
There's no way it's the last coconut on the island. No way.
I'm going to try not to get too angry. I don't know if it's because I'm on my third coffee or because of this episode, but
coffees.
This is the third. I've had like 2 1/4. So Eva had fucking whipped cream thrown in her face the day before this, okay? Like, she's eating well, all right?
She's eating very well.
She's been on so many rewards.
That's like, I don't know if they, on the, like, while you're going through this, maybe you're not picking up on it, but Mary hasn't actually had food since the merge feast.
Not real food. She's had,
yes.
Everyone was talking about Mitch hasn't eaten.
Yeah.
Mitch hasn't
he
eaten.
ate yesterday, too.
He ate yesterday.
God.
Did they miss last week's episode?
I hate everybody that's left in this game, including my own team right now.
Except for Mary, of course.
Yeah, I meant, like, you know, who's actually left.
What do you mean?
What do you
mean?
mean?
What
I
happens
don't know.
later?
Let's keep going
I
then.
think we can all agree Shaheen's the best of
Out
the
of
rest,
the remaining
right?
ones, yeah, I agree. He's
Come
the
on,
he's the
guys,
least
come on.
problematic.
That's right.
He's the least problematic for
come
sure.
on, PD.
I can't say
Come
he's better than
on!
Camilla. I'm sorry.
Hey, Camilla was wilding out this week. I do want to bring up something about Shaheen. Shaheen's the last person on your team, Bran.
That's it.
He's not like super prominent in the edit right now. Does that make you feel better or worse about his chances?
He was in this one a good bit, at least.
I am this is what I'll say. I am like 99.9% sure that Joe's going to win this season.
Right.
I do think of the others, I think Shaheen, if it comes down to final tribal and it's Shaheen, Joe, and Eva, let's just say
You think Shaheen can win
I
it?
think there's a world
Where Shaheen
where
pulls
he
it off.
can pull it
I
off.
agree with you. I think it's going to depend on who wins fire making and stuff and who gets that third
yeah.
spot.
Oh, that reminds me. On the Sanctuary, me and Chase figured out how to save the season.
Yeah, we did.
Oh,
We cracked the code.
Yeah.
You put Eva and Joe in fire making.
Yeah.
That's how you save it. Make them face off for who goes home.
Because will Joe be able to even compete against Eva?
He says that he wouldn't. He said that if it came down to it, he would leave the game before.
So would he like build a fire and then scoop in himself?
Just throw himself into the fire.
And they're like, I can't do this. I gotta go. Yeah.
Man, what a fire!
We saved the season. Joe gets in the fire. So next up, Kyle is feeling better because him and the bros are fishing.
Yeah.
So Mitch, Kyle, and Shaheen are fishing, and Kyle says, "You're just floating there. You don't really think about anything." And yeah, no, you're not really thinking about anything, Kyle. And then,
That's the problem, brother.
and then he caught his first fish, and that's awesome. And Mitch says getting to share this experience with the boys is something he'll look back on forever. So that was really great. Are you glad we made time for this in the show, Bran?
I'm mad that we made time for this in this show because this is proof that there is more food to be found on the island. Stop getting mad at Mary for eating a gosh darn coconut and go catch yourself a fish.
Thank you.
With the thing that does all the work for you.
Exactly.
I saw a Reddit post that was like, I miss when they would just show them fishing and stuff
100%.
sometimes. And I agree, but this was not the episode to do it.
No. It's not the time for fishing and jubilation.
Unless you're Rupert floating around in your skirt, I don't really care to see you fishing.
Or Richard with the shark.
Yeah. I could watch Rupert fish all day.
I could have watched a whole spin-off
Yeah.
show of just Rupert fishing. But Kyle fishing infuriated me.
Get out of here.
And whenever from now on, ever since Jonathan's song last week, whenever you go the bros, in my head it's like a sound that goes, but I've got all the bros.
Yeah. Dude, I've had freaking Pink Pony Club in my head all week. All week.
So there's a big boat coming, guys. Big boat club. Eva jumps right up, and she said she was asleep, and then she got right out of the hammock. Yeah. It was hard to focus on what was going on when
Hammock.
somebody says hammock.
Hammock. I couldn't believe how quickly she was not sleeping. There's no way, right?
She said she was.
Like how quickly she processed boat.
Yeah.
Is you can't possibly do that from slumber. You can't go from sleep to boat in as quick a time.
So it's journey time, and buckle up, everybody, because this is an exciting one.
Did we explain that how Eva gets to go on the journey?
I'm getting there.
Okay. Sorry.
If they
That's the best part.
So freaking stupid.
if they can't agree on who to send for this journey, they draw rocks. So they draw rocks, and luckily, the person who needed it the most, the person who was on the bottom of her tribe, and she was clawing, the underdog Eva, she did it. And she showed everybody.
Dude, This was crazy. This
Yeah.
was crazy. You could tell production was trying to give everyone a bone.
Yeah.
And you could tell because what the reward is if you get it right.
And then Mary goes like, I need it. And then after Mary says I need it, everybody's like, okay, rocks it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Because everyone was dead quiet.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, I don't blame them at all for not letting Mary go on the journey. I do find it unbelievably suspicious that the person with the bag is the one who ends up with the rock. That's all. I'm not going to say.
Maybe I don't know. I have to go look and see where her hands were. But
It's just that Eva, of all people, who has gotten every advantage, gone on every possible excursion, eaten all of the food, happens to run down to the boat, grab the bag, and then also happens to get the rock.
But I do want to dispel. There's so much chatter on the internet about this whole game is rigged for Eva, and it's not.
No way.
It's not. I know people like are still in the comments of our video about Eva and Charity being like, Charity was right. They rigged the whole game for Eva. And I'm like, guys, shut up.
Because do you know how stressed Jeff and the other producers are right now? They're like, that was the worst case scenario for them because they were like, people are going to be furious.
Dude, Jeff probably threw his flip phone at the wall like, gosh.
Eva was like, well, we can't let a woman go.
All right, so it's Eva's journey time. So she had to stack tiles in a circle while standing on a balance beam using only her foot to spin the disc. If she stacks 4 levels, she keeps her vote. If she stacks 8 levels, then she gets the knowledge is power advantage. For those of you who don't know, knowledge is power means that if somebody or if you think somebody has an idol or advantage, you can say, hey, give me that. And that's normally a really cool thing for someone to get. But the person who might be able to get this has every advantage in the game.
Yeah.
So it
turns out there's no more idols to be had because you have them all.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it would have been awesome for anybody but Joe or Eva to be in this journey. But the producers, they can't decide how the rock draw goes. So it's not their fault that this happens. Anyways, Eva gets it. Eva has it 4 levels high. And she's like,
she did it so easily.
I got to be honest with you guys. So they're explaining this. And I was like, so there's no way she's going to get this, right? Like, this sounds super hard.
Yeah.
Turns out it's the easiest thing in the world. And she did it with, like, I don't know if they gave her a full 24 hours. There was barely any sand gone. I don't know what happened.
She did it so quickly.
So fast.
At one point, she's just like using her foot to move it around. She's putting something down with his head. Like,
let Eva cook. Come on.
And then she gets the 4th row. She stands there for a minute. And well, not for a minute. For a few seconds, you can see like she's pondering. And she's like, you know what? I'm good. I'm just going to keep my vote. I don't need this challenge anyway. I've already won everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really nice that this scene was a complete waste of time.
And then,
but
what does she do as she's walking away?
She puts on her Stone Cold Eva Austin vest.
Yes, and then she knocks
it all
the
down.
tower down.
I forgot about
Guys,
that part.
This caused a lot of chaos.
You can't tell me that you have to have the 4 remaining when the time runs out, and then have her. With time, I can see the hourglass.
I didn't even consider
that. Buddy, it's still, the sand is still going down.
As we speak.
She knocks it over. That's the game.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
just because you willingly knock it over doesn't make it okay.
But I think she probably looked at the producers like, okay, I'm done, game over. Might as well knock this down now.
I'm sure they gave her the A.
I think
but
if anything, the producers told her to do it.
Yeah, this would be a cool shot.
Yeah.
The internet won't get mad, I swear.
But don't show us the hourglass.
Right, yeah.
That clearly has time remaining.
Jelinski, that thing.
Where the rule is clearly the rules were clear. If it's at the time, if it's 4, then great. I don't know. It annoyed me more than it should.
I am a big Journey defender. I like the Journey.
Yeah, I like their band too. Don't stop believing.
Believe it.
Woo!
I have now after this episode.
I'm a big Journey defender.
And you said you're not an artist. You said you're not a musician. I heard that falsetto. You're a Journey defender.
Yes. I like the Journeys. This one they should have just not even put in the episode. It was like, okay, I understand why they did it. They were like, oh, Mary or someone is going to be able to cancel out one of Eva's advantages and make them self-save. It'll be an epic moment of television.
Well, I think there was a good reason to keep this in, and that's because she comes back and she says, and I quote, that was dumb for me to go on because the advantage was knowledge is power. And you all want that shit. That's what she said. So I finished and I was like, that's it. I'm going to keep my vote. What am I going to do? Play it on myself?
Dude.
Which was pretty funny, but
insane.
yeah.
And it cuts to Joe with wide eyes, like, just why are you saying all
But
of
then
this?
Joe gets a confessional and he's kind of hyping her up. He's like, she ain't wrong though.
Yeah.
And then Mary was like, yeah, you're right, Eva. That would have been great for me to have.
And then Eva goes over to Mary while she's like hanging her socks or something, and she's like, I know you wanted that. It's like, oh gosh.
I'm just so lucky.
Also, like, I have to keep reminding myself that she has autism.
Right.
And like part of the thing that she says is, I don't do well reading social cues. And like so very abundantly clear in this situation that to be true. And so that's the tough part of it is like, like we
Chase.
have this, it's hard because it's like we have this person who's kind of turned heel. Like we don't like her anymore.
Yeah, but she doesn't know she's a heel.
That's the tough part. It's like I don't know what to do with this.
Well, I mean, and it's the philosophy of our show, which is we see these people as characters.
Yeah.
It's like a TV show that we're watching. In real life, Eva is autistic.
Yeah.
On Fiji, she's a supervillain.
She's a
Both can be
supervillain.
true.
I think she's still autistic on Survivor. I don't think she just got rid
Well,
of
there
that
can
for
be
them.
autistic supervillains.
Yeah.
I probably,
But you
Dr.
said she's
Doofenshmirtz?
autistic, and then she's like you couldn't be it.
Well, you know, I was just doing a little bit, but you know, pull it apart. Why don't you? Next time I'm doing an improv show with PD, he's instead of yes anding, he's just gonna be like, hey, can you explain that?
Well, I mean, I'm just reacting to she was autistic, and then she went on Survivor.
That's not what I said.
That's what you said. That's what you said.
I said in real life she's autistic.
Guys, RFK, we found the cure. We found it. You go on Survivor, you lose your autism.
Boom. You're good to go.
Eva showed up on Fiji and was like, I'm gonna write some poems. I feel different.
I'm gonna play baseball.
We might have to cut some of that.
I'm keeping it. Mary then
Cut that.
Mary then pitches her plan to Shaheen, and Shaheen says in a confessional that Joe is a big threat, but Shaheen really believes that he's played a better game and that he can beat Joe in the end, so he wants to keep him. And then Mary says it's outwit, outplay. There's no outloyal.
Great.
And that was a great point.
line, yeah.
And Shaheen tells her, stay patient. And hey, Shaheen,
Just keep waiting.
we've been patient for weeks. We've all been patient.
Hey, be patient. I got something cooking. Your
Yeah.
downfall, Mary.
Like, but to be clear, Shaheen, he's on my team,
Yes.
makes the point that he's played a better game than Joe.
Mhm.
And
Is that true?
I like had to sit with that for a little bit. I'm like, because on one hand, you could look at Joe and outside of winning immunity challenge, I think he's won 3 now, and the powerful moment with Eva.
Mm-hmm.
What has he done aside from basically just be like
The Godfather.
Yeah, like he's up there being like,
Yeah.
just tell you, do what you think is right. And then it's gonna like until he has to make a move. Where Shaheen, we know, has done sneaky moves. He's playing they did that whole like montage of conversation that he had, like planting the seeds to get out David. But no one knows that. Like, so he's going to have to sit up there and be like, take my word for it.
And Joe blames Mary for the David thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who are they going to believe? I don't know.
Yeah,
And
I
what's
think it's an uphill
interesting-
battle. That's the problem with playing like this sneaky strategic game. I don't know if Joe's actually done anything either.
But he's the
Yeah.
one that's kind of the leader of that
he's
alliance.
his biggest thing is he got the right people around him.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
what
it's
he
all
did.
Stone Cold Eva Austin, baby.
Stone Cold.
I'm going to be insufferable if I'm not already for the next 2 weeks. After I get my Mary sadness out of the way, it's Eva Nation all day, baby.
Are you going to be like really defending Eva?
Oh yeah. Get ready.
Interesting.
I won't do it today, but I'm going to do it next week
So can I ask you like a quick like follow up on that and like why?
because she's on my team, bro. Because she's on
I
Team
forgot.
PD.
Is Eva? You have Eva and
Camilla.
Camilla. Camilla, I think's the obvious winner still, if she can make it to final 3.
That's the biggest if right now
Yeah,
because
it's
the
true.
How
next
does she get
people,
there?
yeah, the
They
next
haven't
people on the
made the
block,
moves.
it's either Mitch or Camilla next week.
Yeah.
It's gonna be another boring.
We got Joe and Eva as the clear 1 and 2.
Now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the episode.
Everybody's favorite part of the episode is challenge time with Chase, baby. Stone Cold Eva is a fun bit we could be doing. I'm still caught on that. What is?
Give me a hell yeah. What could be her version of that?
Throw me a beer.
Eva, I had 1 beer. Yeah. 2 beers.
Yeah.
What? 3 beers. What? 4 coconuts. What?
I just need to get the sound of the glass breaking.
Yeah.
We're talking.
So now when we talk about Eva, and then maybe that bit will send her home.
Okay, it's challenge time. Ladies and gentlemen, they have to push a survivor wheelbarrow across a series of obstacles while balancing a vase containing a key. Along the way, they will add a second vase and cross more obstacles. Once you get to the finish, you have to use the keys to unlock the pieces to an arch puzzle, which is what we have seen before. And personally, I think that's the hardest puzzle that they do, especially when they're huge.
Yeah, you got to do it's the arch, but it's just you.
Yeah.
You just got 2 hands.
Even because they've done variations with a team before, and they're giant blocks, and that was really hard as well. The important thing about the arch puzzle is that both sides of the pieces have to spell out a word properly. Remember that. That is important. The winner wins immunity, and they also get to pick 2 other people to go with them to reward, which is sushi, chicken teriyaki, noodles, iced tea, and chocolate cake. Ooh.
Can you try that one more time as Jeff Probst? Put a little extra.
And you got to do the pauses.
Yeah.
Make it sultry.
Yeah.
Give it to me one more time.
If I had prepared, I think I could nail it, but I'm gonna try my best.
I think you can do it right now. You got this.
Yeah, you got it.
I believe in you.
The winner wins immunity, and also gets to pick 2 other people to go with them to reward.
What's the reward?
Which is sushi, chicken teriyaki, noodles, iced tea, and for dessert, chocolate cake.
Chocolate cake. Yeah, that was good.
It was all right.
Dang, dude. And then Jeff looks at Mary and goes, I hope you had some coconuts, because we all know you're not going to go to reward. And then he points to Eva and he goes, I know you're going.
I know you're going.
And she was like, what?
But she could have literally done nothing, and she would have made it.
Autism 316 says I just Autism 316 says I just kicked your ass.
Autism 316 says I just kicked your ass.
Oh my gosh. The Eva Stunner. The Eva Stunner. Her finishing move is just you have to watch her eat food.
I really got chased with Autism 316. I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, that was good.
What? Okay, God. The first part of the challenge goes pretty average, nothing exciting, kind of a theme for this episode.
Well, Mary was out front early, which was exciting.
Yes, Mary is in, but sadly, she's in dead last by the time everyone is working on the arch puzzle. Joe finishes his arch puzzle lightning fast. And says, Jeffrey, I've got it. He doesn't say Jeffrey. I made that up. The word is got fun betrale.
And spell that out.
Betrale.
But did you get the back? Because I have the picture of the back of it right here. I could read that.
Yeah, please read that.
It's you not Geflebrat. So Joe is brat confirmed.
Geflebrat.
Yeah.
Dude, we all proceed to laugh at that stupid fucking made up word.
Yeah.
And then the challenge proceeds to continue for another.
Jeff did not give him a hard time at all.
No, he should have.
Yeah, it's like, no, I told you it has to spell a word.
Not only did it not spell a word on the back,
you know,
didn't even spell a word on the front. Yeah.
They should have done Jeff should have done what those AI videos of Jeff do, where he just curses out the players.
Yeah.
Should have been that.
Oh my
you
God.
stupid idiot. Fun betrayal.
We see a few weak moments from Joe in this episode, and that's funny.
Yeah.
The challenge proceeds to continue for another 5 minutes or so. That's how early he got have fun betrale.
Yeah.
Or Geflebrat.
I love that he saw the letter and he said, I've got
fun betrayal.
But did he not go around and see oh no, this is gibberish on the back?
I think it's pretty clear that he just all around missed that part of it. It's like that the back of the puzzle mattered. I think clearly he didn't.
It's like when you were in school and you finished a test 20 minutes before everybody else and you're like, did I miss something?
Yeah. Got fun betrayal.
So we're back at the end now. It's a tight race between Camilla and Joe. They are both so close. Probably due to the fact that, was it Kyle that didn't spell the word right, but he just kept yelling the word. He's like, Jeff, betrayal, and he didn't get it right. So now everybody knows the word.
Unforgettable.
Oh yeah,
He's like, Jeff, unforgettable.
Not betrale.
No.
It's a tight race between Camilla and Joe. They're both putting in their final piece at the same exact time. It's so close.
They both had to get one from the ground.
Dude, and Joe had like half a second beat on her. It felt like.
Yep, it was like half a second. He steps back onto his mat. Camilla immediately steps back on her mat. Jeff goes, Joe wins. Wait, no.
Wait, he's like, I'm wrong. You're wrong.
Yeah. Camilla's puzzle was actually correct, which means that she wins immunity. Joe had one of the end pieces flipped to the wrong color, which I didn't even notice. I didn't even think that was a part of it.
Yeah.
Basically, there's two sides that had like a little symbol for the end pieces. One was white, one was black, and I guess that was to help you differentiate which word goes with where. And he just got that little piece flipped.
Yeah.
Camilla wins immunity. And
Surely they run that down with that. Like they didn't go to that much detail with us at home, so it was news to us that was a thing.
But I'm sure that
surely they.
Yeah, Jeff goes on for 10 minutes, lets them ask questions, and they cut all that out of the show.
Yeah, nice. and Joe. That's why Joe's like, it's fair. That's fair. No freaking duds, fair brother.
He should have been like David. Like, I should have won.
I should have won.
Camilla wins immunity, and we all are thinking, finally, they're going to turn this game around. So take it away, PD. Did they turn this game around?
No, but this moment of the episode, it turned my mood around because Camilla winning immunity, that made me really happy. I screamed and I jumped up and down. And
hey, who'd she bring?
That's what we'll talk about in a second.
And then she brings Mailman Mitch.
Yeah, okay, all right, good pick.
Well, hold on.
Let's
Let's tease it a little bit more because she goes, I'm bringing someone who hasn't had a lot to eat. And I'm like, oh, she's going to bring Mary.
Yeah.
And she goes, Mitch. And I was like, he just ate.
Yesterday.
And then Jeff goes, all right, you can invite one more person. And she invites Eva.
That's right.
When Mary was opening the coconut and Eva goes, that's our last coconut. And Mary went, you're going to go to the reward. Yeah. I'm not. She nailed it.
And then Mary starts crying.
Yes. Which was very sad. Yeah. And it broke my heart.
So I went from like, just thrilled that Camilla won, jumping around, and then immediately I get brought back down.
Camilla broke her spirit.
Well, because Camilla, she's so emotional for winning. She's like, all of my family told me I would be the first one eliminated. I would never win a challenge. I was like, first of all,
get a better family. Like, what the heck, bro?
So then, we're all like, oh, good for Camilla. But then Mary is crying because she took Eva of all people.
Camilla, Eva, and Mitch are eating their reward. Camilla says, we all agree there's no point in keeping Mary around. She's causing too much chaos, is exactly what I want Eva to think. What Eva doesn't know is I've been talking to Mary, I've been talking to Mitch about voting Joe, and because he lost the challenge, we have a clear shot at him now. And that's the second time in this episode that we've heard Kyle and Camilla talk about their clear shot.
I thought that this was it, dude. I was like, this is it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll find out. Then we get Shaheen singing an awful song in the hammock. After Star's song being so amazing, we then get this from Shaheen, which I can't even remember it. It was just like some weird
Disney
ballad.
Song.
It was weird. I couldn't tell if it was some sort of like
parody.
No, I honestly, when it started, I was like, oh, he's doing some sort of like prayer meditation thing.
Oh,
that's what it been. He's like, one more challenge.
Yeah.
Will Jeff?
It was like very,
torch?
but it was very like it was very hum about it. It was like one more challenge.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't know if it. I don't know what it was.
Me and my alliance are ruining this for everybody watching at home. This season sucks.
To me, it sounded like it sounded like a Disney musical song.
He gets out of the hammock.
We'll have to review the tape.
One more challenge.
Yeah, well, it was almost like
it wasn't upbeat. It was depressing sounding.
It's it's the moment in the Disney movie where it's like all is lost, and the Disney princess is like, "I've got one more challenge to make it happen. Can I turn this game around?"
Okay, yeah, I see the vision now.
I've got to get up on my feet. I've got to stand my ground. Because Kyle and Camilla, they can help me with the numbers.
Yeah.
But Joe and Eva always are awake when in their slumber.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Is what I would say to Shaheen, not Chase. Chase.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
So Mary knows the writing's on the wall, but Mary says, I'm someone who's incredibly resilient. I'm not someone who gives up.
Oh, heck
So
yeah.
I think Mary might have gone out and looked for an idol or just tried to give the appearance that she was doing that.
Right. I thought she was going to do the bit again where she like acts cool, like she did
Puts
with
a stick in her pocket.
Oh yeah.
Well, or like she put leaves in her
Yeah, she
pocket
put leaves
with
in her
Say,
pocket.
and then
Yeah.
Say grabbed him, and then CBS didn't want us to know about that.
Yeah.
And then Say went home. Like, what are you protecting Say for, CBS? We should have seen the leaf grab shot.
Being harassed online, probably.
Yeah, you're right. So Kyle is talking to Camilla one-on-one, and they're talking about how nobody knows how tight they are. And then Kyle reveals something shocking.
What?
Kyle is a lawyer. Not a teacher. And Camilla's shocked, and she says, even if you're a lawyer, I still want you in the final three. She says he's a great liar, and she doesn't care that he's a lawyer. And Kyle, he now has a clear head with this secret off of his chest. So Kyle finally comes to his senses and says, Camilla's my number one, and he has to get her to the end. And then they speculate how awesome it would be if they send Joe home. And then Camilla says they both know they're going to turn on Joe. It's just a matter of when.
They both don't know that. They don't, because Kyle does not want to turn on Joe. That was another weird thing.
But Kyle, in this, I just said he came to his senses. He's like, she's my number one. We're going to the end. He's not like he's Team Camilla.
He doesn't
now.
believe it. He doesn't believe it.
I mean, it's what he said. It's the last
he
thing
says
he
a lot of
said
stuff
on the issue.
He's a wishy-washy kind of guy. The Patreon chat was like, he has the lamest secrets.
Well, it was
what I said.
Is that you?
I ate cookies today, and you were like, I had a donut.
I bet she was shocked that he's a lawyer because he sucks at like being like.
but they have. We've
watched him
you've
panic
turned
every
on-
time
you-
that there's.
But up until now, Chase, I could make like a 10-minute compilation of you talking about how genius both of them are.
Yeah, earlier in the
And
season,
how smart
but
they played everything.
That was before
And-
Kyle drank his own Kool-Aid and is like, I can't turn on Joe. I can't
Yeah,
turn
he
on
did
Joe.
struggle with it, but I think maybe next week.
What did he didn't do it this week.
I know.
I said that's why I said maybe next week.
He's not gonna do it.
It's
It's our
all I'm
only
saying,
hope.
Next week, it is possible.
It's our only
It's-
hope.
It's
Chase.
odd. It's unlikely, but it's possible.
But it is possible. Take
Okay.
that. Take that, Chase.
Take that.
All right, I'll be on the other side of that argument.
Take that.
Now we've got Mary with her back against the wall. She said she's got a trick up her sleeve. She's going to pull a little Russell Hantz. So she looks at Joe and says, Joe, I'm going to write your name tonight. You're the biggest threat. I'm just going to be honest. I hope you take it as a compliment. And then Joe starts losing his mind.
Yo.
Because he's like, no way she'd say this to me if she didn't have an idol. So then Joe is like, hey, I got to throw a vote on one of you guys just in case. And then Shaheen's like, hey, man, maybe don't throw a vote on one of us. And Joe says, look, I don't get it, dude. I don't think it would matter. Shaheen in a confessional says, hey, man, do what I did twice. I had people writing my name down, and I was cool as a cucumber. Mister, I've won the immunity necklace 3 times, and now you're freaking out because one person's going to write your name down. He might be willing to flip. So should I write down Joe? And then we get Kyle saying it'd be a great move to take out Joe, but he's got to figure out if now's the right time. I'm sick of all of this. Like, when is the right time? I've had to
It's
say
over.
it so many
The
times.
time is over.
That's why, like, every time I've had to live through this episode, which is time number 3 for me, it makes me more and more mad every time I have to mention them being like, maybe now, maybe it's not.
now.
It's a good time, clear shot. Maybe do we do it? Do we
There's
not?
only like what 2 weeks left.
Yeah.
You're out of time.
Yeah.
The numbers are gone.
It's possible though. Actually. I think that's
It's
the important
possible.
thing.
Yeah,
What
yeah, it's
I
possible.
let me lay out the potential.
Let's hear it. Let's
okay?
hear it. Pitch it.
It is clear that Shaheen, I believe,
Yes.
is at the end of his rope.
I agree.
with Joe, and I think this solidified it. And so you
Well, it
have
should've.
Shaheen, who is like, okay, I see now that I'm in bed with the killer here, and I've got to make some sort of move. And then you have Kyle, who is also, per his words, which I don't take as bond here, but he's like, we know now, like now's the time, right?
But then they didn't do it.
But I think it could, right? Shaheen, he's ready to
Yeah.
make a move. Kyle finally ready to make a
They
move.
have a Camilla,
Camilla already,
and
was-
then Mitch.
and then Mitch is the outlier here because Mitch apparently doesn't
wanna play.
Want to play?
He
the
wanted
game.
to play at the start of this one episode.
Yeah.
He's like,
for about 10 minutes. He wanted
Yeah.
to play the game, and then he was
Yeah.
like, "What if I didn't? What if I just ate sushi?"
But you can at least admit it is possible.
Well, of course it's
that those
possible,
four-
yeah. But it's just it's. Let's break down this whole Joe conversation. Mary, first of all, what a great move.
Yeah.
She tore down that man's entire fragile ego with
She did.
one sentence.
100%.
Hey, Joe, I'm voting for you tonight. He immediately started panicking.
His body language when she said that?
He's like, oh, what does she have?
Dude, so then he goes to his allies. There's not that many people left.
Yeah.
There is his team of 6 and then Mary. So he goes, we got to put someone else's name down. Who? It's just us, the alliance.
That's what Mitch said. He's like, what are you going to do, me or Shaheen?
Yeah, and so it's like, that is the moment. Like, Joe looked them in the face and said,
Yeah.
I don't care as long as it's not me.
Yeah.
I'm important. You guys aren't. So I feel like that is the moment. And then we get the 2 confessionals, Shaheen and Kyle, being like, whoa, this is the time to flip. That's when they should have realized this is our time to take him out.
And they had the numbers.
They had the numbers.
So
But
easy.
Mary ate the last
Coconut.
Yeah. Which, you know what? I haven't thought about it clearly. I'm seeing it now.
Yeah.
They were right. Mary was such a bitch to eat that last coconut.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
And deserved everything.
We'll fight right here, right now. We'll fight in this studio.
There's no more coconuts on the island.
Oh, okay.
Where's all the immunity items?
Yeah, we were talking about that on the
Where's all of them?
They're in Eva's pockets.
Yeah,
But there's
Mary-
only one.
I wish Mary would have found one. We're going to talk about tribal.
Yep.
And then I want to play Jonathan's thoughts. And then we're going to have a funeral of sorts.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's go to tribal now. Let's go to this depressing ass tribal. It was a lot of fluff, some personal backstory stuff that normally I would make time to share for our audience, but
don't
I'm
matter.
mad. I'm mad at all of those guys.
I was
so-
irrationally annoyed by this
Yeah.
tribal.
and that's why we are skipping over it. So
I'm sure everyone's families are great. Okay.
Well, we are going to talk about the one thing that happened.
Okay.
Which is David standing up.
That, bro,
Yeah.
saved the episode. That was so funny.
So Mary gets voted out. It's 1 vote Joe, the rest on Mary because a bunch of cowards. And then David stands up and he's like, "Hey Joe, you want some of this?"
In his tank top and his backwards hat.
Dude, he looked cool as fuck. I'm not going to lie.
Cool.
looked
I thought
awesome.
he looked like I said a new metal frontman. Like he could have been
yeah.
the bassist for Korn or
Oh,
something. Like,
yeah. Dude, he looked like he had his trailer park fit on, dude, which is kind of the vibe I bring to the
Yeah.
studio. And dude, he's standing up, he's posted up, perfect posture, and he's just staring everyone down as Mary walks over to get her torch stuff.
But then you've got Star trying her hardest not to laugh and not doing a good job.
Do you think he did that and he was thinking other people are going to stand? Like,
I don't
with
know.
me? Like, is it like, you know,
Or was it a bit that they had? He's like, "Hey guys, I'm going to stand up when I'm assuming Mary or Mitch is going to go. I'm going to stand up and stare him down."
Like it's an act of solidarity or something. I don't know what it was supposed to mean.
See, I've been watching a lot of baseball. My mind went to he's going to charge the mound.
Yeah.
He's coming for the pitcher.
Dude, this would have been the best season ever. He started just fighting people at Tribal Council.
Yeah. If we had like a Pedro Martinez moment with David
Don Zimmer?
there. Yes.
Yeah. What's great is you what you don't see is he stands up and Jeff just shakes his head down.
What are you doing?
What if Jeff was like, sit back down?
Well,
are you
jury
doing?
isn't supposed to draw attention to
No,
themselves.
they're not. And he very much, I bet he got a talking to
Do you
later.
think that this was a statement of like, hey, we're not voting for Joe or Evo?
Could have been?
Could have been.
Figure something out.
Do what you got to do.
So go jump in the fire, scoop in yourself.
He just looks.
You got to be careful saying that, Dave.
well, hey, I mean, I'm referring to the character in season 2.
Not the child predator.
Yeah, not that guy. I'm referring to the character who fell in the fire in front of Elizabeth, Fox News lady.
Both of them were terrible.
All right. So
I-
Mary went home. We're all sad.
So funny when he stood up though.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Did did Jonathan send in something
Yes.
for Mary going home? Let's
Well-
hear that.
It just says crash out.
All right. Well, let's see.
Look, here's the deal, people. I'm not on this episode, but I'm furious right now. I'm furious because of 2 things. Actually, I'm furious because of 3 things. Let's start with a list like we're freaking Watch Mojo right now on YouTube. Watch Mojo's number 1 thing that Jonathan hates about this week is, first of all, my curse didn't work. It did not send Camilla home. Do you know how embarrassing that is? I was on freaking Rob Has a Podcast, and I didn't even get the player sent home with the song that I used to curse said player. And I listed a bunch of other players, but instead, here's number 2. We got the player that wasn't listed in the song going home, Mary. This is infuriating to me. Do you know what this means? This means I'm angry at my own players for sending Chase's player home? Are you kidding me right now? What is going on? I don't even know what to think anymore about this freaking podcast. I'm going to quit. And speaking of quitting, number 3 reason that I'm mad this week, I'm going to punch a wall, is because my freaking brain rot reel got taken down by one of the jabronis on this podcast. Someone saw my Italian brain rot meme and said, Jonathan's not good enough to make content on this. You know what? Maybe it was Chase. Maybe I'm glad his player went home. That's a lie. I'm actually not happy Mary went home. You know what? This message is over.
Wow. We need to. Bran, can you please isolate that? I'm going to punch a wall.
Yeah, I'll have to get that for later. Yeah.
That is the most Jonathan has contributed in a while.
Hey, we're the Big Bro Club.
The Making the Merge podcast.
One thing I want to say about Jonathan's little spiel there is that I think his song it's even better now because it didn't work. Yeah. So I think he should be happy.
Yeah. I mean, that was just a great song in general.
It's time to have a funeral for our beloved Mary.
As we go on,
just give me a second, please.
Remember all the
PD, can I get some funeral music put in under this in post?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay. I tried to be entertaining for the episode, but I mean, I'm going to let my real emotions out here. Someone once said, grief is the price we pay for love. And I don't think I truly understood what that really meant until last night. When Mary walked over slowly to Jeffrey Probst, had her torch snuffed, while David may have stood up, my heart dropped.
Amen.
Weeks ago, Mary played an epic shot in the dark, securing her spot in the game as the final Vula. She overcame being on the bottom week after week, but there was 2 things that she could not overcome.
Tell him.
Honor and integrity. The defining traits of everyone's favorite season 48 players, Joe and Eva. Joe is a fire chief, and maybe he will be able to put out the fiery rage I have in my heart. The burning desire to... Eva is a men's hockey player. In hockey, you're allowed to throw punches with an opposing player until you hit the ground. But last night, Eva decided to keep punching while Mary laid on the sandy beach of Fiji, begging for a red card.
Ouch.
Joe, Eva, if you're listening to this, I will not rest until I cross the river Styx, venture deep into the underworld, trick Hades, survive Cerberus, the 3-headed dog, and find my precious Mary. And I will bring Mary back from the dead, and I will not stop clawing and fighting until the wrongs have been made right. Mary was nothing short of an angel and nothing taller than a saint. In the search for the new pope, they should have been knocking on Mary's door. For she was the best of us, taken out by the worst of us. And to her murderers, I just have this to say. I'm putting cases on all you bitches.
Whoa.
You think you can do this, though? You think you can do this to Mary? You motherfuckers will be playing basketball in Pelican Bay when I'm finished with you. 23-hour lockdown.
Hey, calm down.
I'm the Mary up in this piece. I'm the police. I run in Fiji. You just live there. Yeah, that's right. You better walk away. Go on and walk away, because I'm going to burn this motherfucker down. King Kong ain't got on me.
Let's dial it back a little bit.
That's right. Mary's winning.
No,
Mary's winning.
Chase.
Mary's winning
Drop your
anyway.
weapon. Put your hands on your head. Sit
what?
down on the
Chase.
ground.
You can't shoot, but you can't kill her. You can't.
I mean, security just escorted Chase out of the building. I didn't even know you had security here, Bran.
I didn't either. That was news to me.
Wow.
But I mean, you heard him.
I
Out of
did.
control.
I think he got a little carried away at the end there, but I do agree with the sentiment. I mean, not the beating.
Oh no, the overall.
But the being sad about Mary part.
And she'd be a great pope, again.
But I mean, now that Chase, he's gotten himself kicked out of the Bramble house with his insane ramblings. Let's talk about how we feel about Mary. You know, just overall, Bran, what kind of an impact did Mary have on you over the course of this season? And
Mary,
just to be clear, Chase is not here. He got removed.
Mary was a phenomenal player, and I couldn't have asked for a more monumental moment with her playing her shot in the dark to happen during my first season here on Making the Merge. It was truly a sight to behold and something I won't soon forget. And while Mary might be gone, she's certainly not going to be forgotten. We're going to remember and hang the flag of Mary high here at the studio for years to come, along with names like Banu and the rest.
Yeah. Well, we're going to put Mary in our intro for next season.
We have to.
We're going to take out Kyle, line him up, knock him.
Right.
I mean, we love Kyle, but
we love Kyle.
But sorry, Mary's going to be in the intro song forever. And shout out to Mary because she gave us our intro song for our secondary show.
Yeah.
That's part of what makes this so hard is Mary's our survivor friend, and we just lost our survivor friend.
But even if she wasn't, it would be a tough loss.
It would be.
Even taking away the attachment that we feel to Mary because of the show, it's a big loss for the show.
It sucks because, I mean, in the pregame episode, I researched her for like 10 minutes and then fell in love with her. Then I was like, I'm going to come on this show and make sure that everybody is also on board. And it didn't take much convincing.
No.
Pulled up her tweets and her Shopify and everybody was on board.
Everybody go and get yourself a Mother Mary mug or whatever.
And stream Baby Teeth.
And stream Baby Teeth. That's exactly right.
That's how we can support Mary this week. Go listen to Pink. Go listen to Shoot. Let's give Mary some love on Spotify and Apple Music.
That's right. That's what we're going to do. And I guess we'll come back next week and we'll probably say a lot of the same things again.
Probably. I wish Chase is here for us reminiscing about Mary, but he had to get himself kicked out.
Chase, you there?
He's still being restrained by security. Oh, no, he's making his way back. Oh, they got him again.
You're about to hear some ads that help keep the lights on here in the old studio. Thanks for listening or don't listen. It's really up to you at this point. It's at the end of the show. I mean, you're listening to me. Hi. But here they come. I promise they're coming. Yep, here they are. Happy day.